So, a quick story. One year I'm working as a assistant principal at a fairly comprehensive high school. We had just gone through some training on data-driven instruction at the leadership conference, and everyone was excited. Everybody in the entire district brought copies of the guy's book, his folder, and we really got enamored with the spreadsheet that he had created. It showed us how it works to kind of disaggregate data on common assessments. And that was great because as a district, we were going into common assessments that fall. Well, I happen to be pretty good at Excel, so I looked at what he did and I recreated that entire spreadsheet. So much so that on the common assessments, all instructors had to do was enter in their students' test scores, their data on a common assessment. And it would kick out the rest of the calculations and feedback and things like that, down to the areas of particular subjects and subtopics and indicators. Seemed great. All the teachers was like, yeah, this is great. This is wonderful. Let's do it. Okay. At the end of the year, one of the teachers confided in me that one of her colleagues was throwing in false information. Not sure if she wanted us to fail. Not sure if she just wanted to not do the work. Not sure if she was even afraid of the fact that maybe her work would not come out incorrect. But she entered in false information the entire school year. We were making decisions based upon false information that an employee intentionally provided us. I want to talk to you today about malicious obedience, a phrase given, I think I first heard it by Stephen Covey, so you know that it's sage advice. But what you have to understand about malicious obedience before we get there are multiple cultures within an organization. An organization just doesn't have one culture. There are multiple cultures, and some are fluid, some are stagnant. The math department may become a culture. Accounting may become a culture within the organization. Marketing, things like that. But you will always have multiple cultures within an organization. Now, the problem with cultures, if you want to call it a problem, is that cultures have a tendency to create in-groups and out-groups. Those who are in the culture are in the in-group, and those who are out of the culture or out of that group are the out-groups. And no one wants to be an out-group. So what happens when leadership is a member of the out-group? Well, three things at the bare minimum. When leadership as a member of the out-group, meaning everyone within the cultures has agreed that it's us versus them. So all of the multiple cultures have one thing in common, us versus them. Well, when that happens, the first thing is that you're always going to be outnumbered. Truthfully, leadership is always outnumbered, but you can do nothing to satisfy any group. No matter what you do, the magic number is more. So that's number one, you'll always be outnumbered. Two, you'll never hear the truth, especially if it will benefit you. How many times as a leader you walk by and, hey, how is things going in your department? Okay, going great, going well. And you know it's not. So you'll never hear the truth if you're a member of the out group in your organization. The third thing that will begin to happen is what I experienced. Malicious obedience, where someone does something in a good enough way to make it fail. They maliciously obey. They'll do it, but they'll do it in a way that will make it fail or make it false. So that's characterized by three things you'll see. One, feet dragging. When you see employees dragging their feet to do what you've asked them to do, you know that there's a possibility there could be malicious obedience. Second thing, which I experienced, is cheating or ethical fading. Now, the difference between cheating and ethical fading we will discuss later, but ethical fading is when you begin to compromise a bit. It's not that you're necessarily cheating, but you're compromising a bit of yourself and the truth, which can be akin to cheating. And the third one is just doing enough. We'll talk about that a little later when we talk about commitment behaviors, organizational commitment behaviors, but just doing enough is a form of malicious obedience. So, once again, know that every group and every organization has cultures and multiple cultures inside of the group. And those cultures can create in-groups and out-groups. And depending on where you are on the in-group and out-group can determine how you get the truth and whether you become a victim of malicious obedience. Thank you. Now, should you find yourself the victim of malicious obedience, we can help. Through people analytics, we can put together proper structures to know what your community and what your cultures within your organizations feel like, need, desire, and are willing to do. And we can provide guidance on answering key questions to ensure that while you may not be able to satisfy everybody, you can present fairness and procedural justice to your organizations so that if you're a member of the out group, you're not subject to the malicious obedience. And if you foster a sense of camaraderie and a sense of commitment and a sense of energy, you may be able to hear the truth before it's too late and avoid the feeling of being outnumbered. So once again, what My Advantage Career Consulting Services does is ask or answer key questions in your business to help you not suffer from malicious obedience. Thank you.